Let me ask you something uncomfortable. How is it possible that you make good money, but saving money still feels hard? No matter how much you earn, the account never really grows. The money comes in and somehow disappears. You're not irresponsible, you're not careless, you're not secretly bad with money, and yet, saving money with a good income still feels just as stressful as it did years ago. You might even be asking yourself, what am I missing? Because on paper, things should be working. If you've ever wondered why saving money feels hard even though you're doing everything right, this video is going to explain what's really happening and why it's not your fault. Before we break this down, make sure you hit subscribe. This channel is about calm, realistic money thinking. No hype, no shame, no pressure. If money has ever felt confusing, heavy, or harder than it should be, you're in the right place. In a moment, I'm going to show you why most people who struggle to save money aren't actually overspending. They're missing one invisible system. And once you see it, saving money stops feeling like willpower and starts feeling automatic. The lie we're all taught about saving money. Most of us grow up believing one simple idea. If you earn more money, saving money should get easier. It sounds logical. It sounds responsible. It sounds like common sense. But for a lot of people, it never actually happens. Because here's what really happens behind the scenes for millions of adults. Income goes up, lifestyle quietly expands, financial stress stays the same. Savings barely move, or don't move at all. That's how people end up living paycheck to paycheck, even with solid, respectable incomes. Not because they're reckless, not because they're careless, not because they don't care about their future, but because no one ever explained saving money psychology, how money actually behaves once it hits real life. Lifestyle inflation, the silent budget killer. Lifestyle inflation doesn't show up as bad decisions. It shows up as small upgrades that feel justified. A slightly nicer place to live. More convenient spending because time feels tight. A few extra subscriptions that don't seem expensive individually. Eating out because cooking feels like one more thing. None of this feels irresponsible. None of it feels extreme. Most of it feels earned. But lifestyle inflation has a quiet effect. It slowly raises your normal. And once your normal gets expensive, even a good income starts to feel tight. That's why people say, I make more money than ever. So why does saving money still feel hard? That feeling isn't imaginary, it's math, combined with emotion and habit. The real problem isn't spending, it's structure. Here's where most financial advice misses the mark. Saving money is not primarily a discipline problem, it's a structure problem. Most people are trying to save money after everything else happens. Rent, bills, food, life, stress, unexpected expenses. Whatever's left at the end of the month is supposed to magically turn into savings. But life doesn't leave leftovers. That's why budgeting basics fail so many people. They rely on constant decision-making, and decision fatigue always wins. When money has no structure, every purchase feels like a negotiation, and that's exhausting. Emotional spending isn't about weakness. Let's be honest for a moment. Most spending decisions aren't logical, they're emotional. Not reckless emotional, human emotional. Spending to feel relief after a long week. Spending to reward yourself for working hard. Spending because you're tired of saying no. This is emotional spending, and it becomes more common when stress is high and time feels limited. That's why people with a high income but no savings often feel deep money anxiety. On the outside, things look fine. On the inside, money feels fragile. It's not about control, it's about pressure. And pressure changes behavior. Why budgeting alone doesn't fix this? Traditional budgeting assumes a lot. Perfect discipline, predictable months, consistent motivation. Real life doesn't work that way. Unexpected expenses show up. Energy runs low. Life gets busy. That's why so many people say, I know what I should be doing, I just don't do it. It's not because they lack discipline. It's because they're managing money manually, over and over again. What works better is cash flow management. Instead of tracking every dollar, you give money direction before it gets spent. That removes friction, and friction is what drains people. If this is already sounding familiar, make sure you're subscribed to Life Plus Money. Every video here is about building financial stability without pressure and creating money systems that work even when motivation is low. The invisible gap between income and wealth. Here's something most people never hear clearly. Income does not create wealth. Systems create wealth. You can earn more money and still feel stuck. You can get raises and still feel stressed. You can have a strong income and no real savings buffer. That's why saving money with a good income feels confusing. Wealth isn't built by trying harder every month. It's built by removing the need to try so hard in the first place. How consumer culture makes saving feel impossible. Modern consumer culture is designed to make spending feel normal, even necessary. Everything is framed as earned. Convenience is marketed as self-care. Impulse purchases are positioned as identity. Saving money in this environment feels like deprivation. That's why people internalize the problem and think, I'm just bad with money. They're not bad. They're overwhelmed by a system designed to extract attention and cash. Without protection, even smart people struggle. The shift that actually works. Intentional spending. Saving money isn't about cutting everything out. It's about intentional spending. That means deciding what truly matters, automating the rest, and letting go of guilt around choices you've already made. When savings happen automatically, discipline stops being the bottleneck. That's how financial habits stick, quietly, consistently, and without burnout. Saving versus spending is the wrong battle. Most people think the battle is saving versus spending. It's not. The real battle is structure versus chaos. When money has structure, the tension disappears, decisions get lighter, stress goes down, savings grow without constant effort. That's how people move from financial stress to financial stability, without extreme frugality or guilt, the calm way to build long-term wealth. Saving money feels hard when it's framed as sacrifice. But when it's framed as long-term wealth building, everything shifts. You stop asking, can I afford this right now? And start asking, does this support the life I'm trying to build? That question creates clarity instead of tension. That's a wealth mindset, not a restrictive one. If saving money has ever felt confusing, frustrating, or heavier than it should be, you're not broken. You just weren't given a system designed for modern life. If you want more videos like this, calm, realistic, and pressure-free, make sure you're subscribed to Life Plus Money. In the next video, we'll break down the simplest money system that works even when motivation is low, and why it's so effective.